Have you ever felt trapped in your own mind, like you're fighting an invisible battle every day? What if the prison bars were just an illusion? What if freedom was just one thought away? Today, we're diving deep into the transformative wisdom of Sadhguru. Not just philosophy, but practical tools that can literally rewire how you experience life. These aren't just ideas, they're keys that have unlocked profound change for millions worldwide. In the next few minutes, you'll discover 12 powerful insights that could completely transform how you experience your mind, your emotions, and your reality. Whether you're struggling with painful memories, toxic relationships, or simply feeling stuck, this wisdom has the potential to change everything. Stay with me until the end, because the final key might just be the one that opens the door you've been searching for all along. Sadhguru teaches us that the past exists only in our memory. It has no power except what we give it. As he says, the past is not in the past is in you right now. Your memories are just impressions stored in your body and mind. They have no existential reality. The challenge isn't that the past happened, it's that you're carrying it within you now. Sadhguru offers this powerful practice. Take just 5 minutes each day to sit and observe how your past experiences shape your present choices. Don't judge them, just observe. This simple awareness begins to dissolve their grip. As he reminds us, do not think of the past as good or bad. It is just a stepping stone. The moment you see it that way, you are free. When dealing with toxic relationships, Sadhguru advises something counterintuitive. Focus on yourself, not the other person. The problem is not that someone is toxic, the problem is that you are vulnerable to toxicity, he explains. He suggests we work on our own inner stability first. When we're deeply rooted in ourselves, others' negativity loses its sting. This doesn't mean tolerating abuse, it means becoming so internally strong that you make clear-headed decisions rather than emotional reactions. His practical advice: practice distance without resistance. Create necessary physical or emotional boundaries without carrying anger or resentment. As he puts it, you can step away without pushing away. Sadhguru explains that frustration comes when there's a gap between expectation and reality. His solution is disarmingly simple. If you are frustrated, it means you are living in an imaginary world. He teaches that frustration stems from our attachment to how things should be, rather than accepting what is. The remedy isn't to lower your goals, it's to drop your insistence on how and when they must happen. As a practice, he recommends, whenever frustration arises, pause and identify the specific expectation that reality isn't meeting. Then ask, is this expectation necessary for my well-being, or is it just my preference? As he often says, frustration is not because of what's happening, it's because of your unwillingness to accept what's happening and work with it. Interestingly, Sadhguru doesn't advocate for traditional positive thinking. He calls it a way of deceiving yourself. Instead, he promotes something more powerful: clarity of perception. Don't try to think positively, he advises, just see things the way they are, without the distortions of your likes and dislikes. True positivity, according to Sadhguru, comes not from forcing pleasant thoughts, but from being fully present with what is. When we see reality clearly, we respond appropriately rather than reactively. His suggestion, instead of trying to replace negative thoughts with positive ones, simply observe your thoughts without judging them. This creates space between you and your thought patterns, allowing natural clarity to emerge. Your mind is a wonderful instrument, but a terrible master, Sadhguru reminds us. Mastery of mind doesn't mean controlling thoughts. It means establishing yourself as the one who witnesses thoughts. He teaches that most people suffer not because of external circumstances, but because their mind has become compulsive rather than conscious. The solution isn't to fight the mind but to shift your identity from the thoughts to the awareness behind them. Sadhguru recommends this simple practice. For just a few minutes daily, sit and watch your breath. Whenever thoughts arise, gently bring attention back to the breath. Over time, this creates the space between you and your thoughts. As he puts it, once you have mastered your mind, it becomes a miraculous tool. The same mind that can be your greatest bondage can be your greatest possibility. Self-doubt, according to Sadhguru, comes from identifying with your limitations rather than your possibilities. You are not your capabilities and you are not your inabilities, he says. You are the life that animates both. Sadhguru shares a profound insight about self-doubt. The question is not whether you can or cannot. The question is, are you willing to do what it takes? This is where all his teachings converge into their most powerful point. Your experience of life is not determined by what happens around you, but by how you respond to it. And that response comes from how you manage your inner world. Think about it. Everything we've discussed, breaking free from the past, handling toxic relationships, overcoming frustration, seeing clearly rather than thinking positively, mastering your mind, and now transcending self-doubt, they're all pointing to one revolutionary truth. You are not a victim of your circumstances or even your own mind. You are the creator of your experience. As Sadhguru puts it, the most beautiful thing about human existence is that you can consciously craft yourself any way you want. This isn't wishful thinking or spiritual bypass. It's the profound recognition that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we have absolute power over our inner response. And that changes everything. According to Sadhguru, our focus problems aren't technical, they're existential. Focus is not something you do, he explains. Focus happens when you're deeply involved with what you're doing. The secret to focus isn't forcing concentration but finding genuine interest. When something matters to you, focus follows naturally. For those struggling with concentration, Sadhguru offers this practice. Before beginning any activity, take a moment to connect with why it matters to you. If you can't find a reason, either discover one or reconsider if this activity deserves your energy. With his characteristic humor, he notes, if your phone is more interesting than what you're doing, maybe you should be doing something else. Sadhguru approaches brain power differently than most. He teaches that the brain functions best when it's both activated and relaxed, seemingly contradictory states that yogic practices specifically cultivate. Your brain is not a storage device, it's a doorway to the cosmos, he explains. The goal isn't to stuff it with information but to keep it vibrant and receptive. He recommends these practices for brain health. Regular physical activity that involves balance and coordination breathing exercises, particularly alternate nostril breathing, exposing yourself to new learning experiences, maintaining proper hydration, and perhaps most importantly, adequate sleep. As he puts it, a relaxed brain is far more intelligent than a tense brain. Intelligence is not tension, intelligence is attention. Sadhguru offers a revolutionary perspective on difficult emotions. Emotions are energy. The question is whether they rule you or you rule them. He teaches that lust, anger, and hatred aren't problems to eliminate but energies to transform. When properly channeled, lust becomes passion for life, anger becomes determination, and hatred transforms into discernment. His practical advice? Don't fight these emotions, observe them. The moment you create distance between you and your emotion, you have choice, he explains. One specific practice he recommends. When intense emotion arises, focus on your breath. Feel the physical sensations of the emotion in your body without mental commentary. Within minutes, the emotion begins to transform into pure energy you can redirect. Possessiveness comes from insecurity, not from love, Sadhguru teaches. When we try to possess people or things, we're actually expressing fear of loss rather than appreciation. He explains that true love enhances freedom rather than restricting it. If you love a flower, you don't pluck it. You let it be, you let it grow. For those struggling with possessiveness, Sadhguru suggests a daily practice of conscious offering. At the end of each day, mentally release everything and everyone you consider yours back to existence with gratitude. This simple practice gradually dissolves the grip of possessiveness. With gentle humor, he adds, the tighter you hold, the more life slips through your fingers. Learn to hold everything with an open palm. Sadhguru makes a crucial distinction between pain and suffering. Pain is a physical sensation. Suffering is the mental resistance to that sensation. He teaches that while we may not always avoid pain, we can transcend suffering by changing our relationship to pain. Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional, as he often says. His approach to pain management has 3 components. 1. Accepting the sensation without mental commentary. 2. Breathing consciously into the area of discomfort. And 3. Directing awareness through the body rather than contracting around the pain. As he explains, pain is just a sensation. The moment you remove judgment from it, its intensity reduces dramatically. This is not philosophy. This is neuroscience. Perhaps Sadhguru's most profound teaching about the future is that we create it with our present actions. The best way to predict your future is to create it, he says. He explains that true clairvoyance isn't mystical fortune-telling but clear seeing of the present moment and its natural trajectories. When we see clearly what is, we can better influence what will be. These 12 wisdom keys from Sadhguru aren't just concepts to understand, they're tools to transform your experience from the inside out. The common thread running through all of them is this: your life experience is created from within. External circumstances matter, but how you process them matters infinitely more. As Sadhguru puts it, the outside can touch your body, but it can only enter your mind if you open the door. The beauty of these teachings is that you don't need to accept them on faith. You can verify them through your own experience. Try even one of these practices consistently for a month, and observe the difference in your life. Remember, transformation isn't an event, it's a process. Don't expect instant perfection. As Sadhguru reminds us with a smile, if you're headed north, it doesn't matter if you take some steps east, west, or even south sometimes. As long as the majority of your steps are northward, you will get there. The question isn't whether these tools work, they've transformed millions of lives across cultures and generations. The question is, are you willing to apply them consistently enough to transform yours? As Sadhguru says, don't worry about the whole mountain, just take the next step. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Sadhguru's wisdom. If this video resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that brings ancient wisdom into practical modern application. Until next time, remember, the only way out is in.